Are you tired of sitting on the sidelines watching opportunities pass you by? You know you have what it takes, but something's missing. It could be doubt, confidence, or fear that you're not representing your best self. Whatever it is, it stops now. It's time to align your passion with your purpose and seize the opportunities that await you. I want to see you get back in the game. So join me and my expert guests as we talk all things image, branding, and a bit of entrepreneurship. So if you're ready to gain insightful tips, tools, and strategies to help you amplify your presence and define your impact for greater success, sit with us as we talk about it. Welcome back to the Image Connection Show, where we go beneath the surface of image, branding, and presence to help you live and lead with impact. I'm your host, Jenny Dewberry, certified international image consultant, personal brand coach, and consultant. And today I have with me Bobbie Maloy. Bobbie is a transformational coach, author, speaker, entrepreneur, and former U.S. Marine. She helps leaders and organizations work through hidden barriers that hold you back in your performance, your productivity, and with her unique blend of mental health, toughness, and emotional intelligence, she empowers her clients to build unshakable self-trust, adapt to changes, and align their work with purpose. Help me welcome Bobbie Maloy to the show. Welcome, Bobbie.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
You as well. Thank you for being here with us. I was trying to make sure that I got all of your information in there and gave you a proper introduction. But I do see that you, which really piqued my interest, used to be you are a pilot.
Well, I'm a licensed pilot. It's not active at the moment, but you want to talk about one of the things that, first of all, that's one of the very first things I did as an adult that was truly for myself, because I had no reason to learn to fly. I just wanted to, and I wanted to, not somebody told me that I should, which, by the way, is going to be a recurring theme that might come up as we go through going here. Is, it's something I wanted to do, so I did it. And it was the first thing that as an adult, I had to learn everything from scratch, because there is nothing that we know in normal everyday life that translates to flying a plane. Because when you're on the ground, you use your feet to steer.
Right.
Not move forward and we're steering. No, you steer with your feet. Power and drive is over here somewhere. And this on the ground does very little. So then you get up in the air and you have to deal with things that you can't just pull over and stop for. So you talk about problem solving. I mean, forgive the pun, but you have problem solving on the fly.
That's right. Very much so. Yes. And it really kind of falls into some of the things that you talk about, if you had adhered to some of the rules that you were taught along the way, and the invisible rules that we are taught by, society and the things, our jobs, and how that brings about barriers, perhaps. So if you can give me a little explanation about invisible rules and how they impact our leadership, our confidence, and just how we move through the world.
Oh, absolutely. So we are meaning-making machines. Okay. As human beings, something happens, whatever that is, good or bad, and then we assign a meaning to it. Now, this happens usually really early in life. And then we take that meaning and we bring it forward with us as we go through life. So imagine if every time you thought, heard, or were told something, you were given a rock and you put it in a backpack. Okay. So when you're in third grade, your teacher was like, oh man, this is like, math is hard for you, isn't it? And so we go, yeah, it is. So we get a rock. And then the next time that we don't get 2 times 2 correct in third grade, because we're still learning it. I think it's third grade. It might be earlier than that, right? That we're learning 2 times 2 and we got it wrong. We're proving this narrative that's not necessarily true because we're learning.
Mm-hmm.
And so we add another rock. And then you get into high school and you'll have a professor or, have a teacher that's just like, man, math really isn't your strong suit, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll get another rock and you'll carry this forward. And then all of a sudden you're sitting in a restaurant and you're like, how do I calculate the tip? Because I'm so bad at math, I have to pull out my phone to figure it out because that's the only way that I can do something. Now, that's a very simple example of an imaginary block that was created over time, and we make them stronger. Now, that is an unspoken, it's a subconscious program that's running in the background, but it wasn't there originally. Right? We weren't born out of the womb going, you know what? I'm not going to be good at math. This just ain't going to be this is not my lifetime to be good at math. And we've noticed, and there's a ton of studies out there that'll show that if a teacher believes that their students are gifted, they will give them better education than if they believe that their students are below average. And they've done multiple studies on this. And so think about that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
A simple belief or something that a teacher was told can drastically change the outcome of a group of students. Well, we do this to ourselves all the time.
Yes, we do.
And it's it's that inner voice that's going on. And those programs, there's a ton of them. Mm-hmm. They show up everywhere that you are not acting in a resourceful state that is the way that you want to show up in the world, and we can talk about that too, you're dealing with a hidden block or a hidden barrier.
Yeah, so true. And then as you mentioned, we get these rocks, as children, but again, we carry them through life, and then we begin to have this self-sabotaging speak, ourselves, our thoughts. We begin to weigh our value based on those things that we were taught as children. You can't. And so we're in life as adults, we're telling ourselves and telling others what we are not capable of doing. When we're capable of doing whatever we choose to do, we just have those blocks in that self-sabotaging mindset. Right?
Yes. And what's really interesting about self-sabotage, I use the word self-sabotage because it's an understood word, right? It's an understood concept, is self-sabotaging.
Sure.
But the reality is there's no such thing as an inner enemy. What we have labeled self-sabotage is actually our unconscious programming, all of these hidden blocks, doing their best to protect us from something. It's usually protection. It's not always protection, right? That it's going through, but it's usually protection. So think about this for a second. I want to start a brand new business. I'm going to leave my career. I'm going to start a brand new business. Or, that's for the entrepreneurial people. Or let's talk about, anybody that's in that leadership role in the company that they're in now, but maybe they don't own the company. So they're thinking about making a move to change to a different company or take that next step up, right, and grow. And we're told, like, we get this inner voice, this self-sabotage starts to come out, goes, you're not good enough for that. We're not ready for that. We don't have enough. We don't have enough experience for this. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Like, we're going to be like, you're going to make a fool of yourself. What if people find out that you're a fraud?
Wow, that's big.
So is that self-sabotage? Or is that an unconscious program that says, this is different, this is change, this is new. I'm going to protect myself because I don't know what the outcome is, because I don't trust myself enough, or I haven't had a history of trusting myself, to where I'm going to say, nope, let's pump the brakes and slow this down because I'm scared of what could possibly be the results.
Happy Wednesday, Lisa. Yeah. So when you think about, self-sabotage, or when I think about it, it is, for me, it has been the things that we tell ourselves, again, that what we can and can't do and such, those things that have been poured into us in our early years, or even just, self-doubt, fear. what are some things that a person can do? Well, first of all, how does it disguise itself, self-sabotage? And then what is something that a person can do to begin to change that? Um, I've learned some things here lately, but if you could share.
Absolutely. So self-sabotage shows up as a bunch of different things, right? It shows up as that inner voice that you now have to, that you feel like you're not good enough, or any of the things that, that I said. It shows up as, you're supposed to do this to get where you want to go. But man, Netflix, that new show, let's sit down and watch that. It shows up as maybe I'll try, but if I'm not perfect in whatever perfect means, then, this is, I gave it a shot. And so it shows up anywhere that you stop going for the things that you were meant for in this life. Now, self-sabotage is not, I've legitimately given this a shot and this is just not for me. That's not self-sabotage.
Okay.
Right? Because most people give up before the success happens because they're expecting success to happen sooner. Right? There's a fantastic meme that I find on the internet. I used to share it with my coaching clients, and it's underground, and there's a cache of diamonds on the right hand side, and there's two tunnels of people coming through, right, with their pickaxes, and the one that is like this far from those diamonds is turning around to go home because he's gone that entire way but has nothing to show for it, and the other one is like right. And I'm like, that's a lot of people quit before they see the result of the compound interest that they've got going forward, that they've built to get to. And so that's one of the, that's something that's interesting. And I'm not talking about that because that's not self-sabotage if you've legitimately given it all that you can, or you've gone through, you're like, I've worked my butt off. I've done all these things. I've either followed the guru, I've been in alignment, and there, for whatever reason it is, that this just isn't right for me. That's okay. Self-sabotage is when we give it a half-hearted effort, or we stop before we even start. That's a lot of times where self-sabotage really comes in. Or we've given it a little bit of time and the success isn't coming almost immediately. That's when self-sabotage really starts to kick in.
Yeah. And as well, people, career individuals as well, but especially I think that entrepreneurs, we get into this world of entrepreneurship not realizing it's a journey. It does not, success does not happen overnight. The saying, overnight success usually takes about, it took about 10 years.
10 years.
to get to that, or more, to get to that overnight success. So we want that instant gratification. And then again, we give up before we get to that success, even though we're right there at the door many times, but we can't see that. We can't feel it. We're so involved in beating ourselves up and woe is I because I didn't get there.
Well, think about it. The majority of businesses fail before they make it 5 years. So but if you're going to extrapolate a definition, how long does it take to get success in business? It's probably 6 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Success. Yeah,
to get success. That doesn't mean that you're going to be wildly profitable.
Right.
But it most likely means success because the majority of businesses fail within the first 5 years. Now, you can extrapolate a couple of other things from there. And like the IRS gives you, like they'll allow you to be non-profit producing for 3 out of those 5 years. So think about that and then go, oh man, you know what? I didn't get a client on the first 10 times that I called in the first month and a half, and I'm going to give up.
Yeah.
So you're like, so self-sabotage, if we're going to come back to that, is you're not giving it enough time to figure out if what you're doing is working. And again, I'm not talking about you're just not aligned. Like, okay, I'm building my entire brand around aligned self. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I was wildly successful in the IT. I'm a recovering computer scientist. Like I worked on
Recovering.
supercomputers, right? I worked on supercomputers. Wildly successful, totally not aligned with who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. Right?
Yeah.
Well, you don't get to supercomputing when you're just straight out of college, right?
No.
Like that's a journey. Like I went on a journey. It was an entire career.
Wow.
I did it
Yeah.
for 12 years.
That's
And then
huge.
kind of one day woke up and just went, this is absolutely not for me.
The
So
fulfillment wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right.
The passion and the drive wasn't there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
If you've legitimately lost passion, like I struggled with that for a couple of years. I'm like, oh man, why do I hate getting out of bed?
Yeah.
Right?
We
And
want
that
to know
wasn't
where we're going, right?
that's not self-sabotage. There's something else is going on. And for me, it was alignment. It
Yeah.
was, this is not something I'm actually passionate about. I'm good at it, which by the way, one of the number one killers of dreams is being really good at something, but you're not passionate about it.
Yeah. And you stay in it though, right? Many
You
times
stay
we
in it.
stay in it.
I was making multiple six figures and walked away from it.
Mm.
And I, as a recovering computer scientist, that's not an easy decision to make.
No.
And I walked away from that to not even close to six figures to begin with in a new career.
Yeah.
And then I got better and I got better. And then guess what? That wasn't exactly perfect for me. And now what I'm doing, I am way more in alignment with who I am and who I choose to be in the world now than I've ever been.
That's so good. And you said choose to be who you choose to be, right?
Absolutely. Why should I be what somebody else chooses
That's
to
right.
be?
Mm-hmm. Or
Right.
who we've told ourselves we are.
Yes.
We can change that at any moment.
My parents, you want to know why I was a computer scientist, and I love my parents to death, but my father was also a computer scientist. So where do you think that came from?
Yeah.
Right. It was an expectation that I followed in his footsteps because I showed like I knew what a computer was when I first started, like when I joined the Marines. I knew what a computer was. I knew what did we have back then? It wasn't Microsoft Word. It was like Word. It was like a Word document or even just a note, and I could save it, and I might have been able to find it again. Like that's the level I started at, and I went from that all the way up to to supercomputing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the passion. Like, why would I do something that somebody else told me? The world has so many expectations for us before we even exit the womb. And I don't care who you are. You can be a man or a woman or anything in between. Yeah. And there are already expectations of other people for you to do something, be something, show up. How many of your listeners, especially if the majority of them are women, were told, like growing up, that the answer is to graduate high school, go to college, find a husband, get married, have kids, find a house, get a great paying job.
Yeah. In that order, probably. Yeah. In that order.
And that's an expectation that's crazy that's put on us. And so a lot of people are backing away from that and going, but why?
Yeah.
But what if I don't want to? And I'm not trying to buck any of these systems, right? There's reasons for them. And if you want to call it the status quo or the standard or the American dream, look, the Americans don't have one dream. I don't know if you've met a couple of them, but I have never met two Americans that have the same dream.
Same dream. That's right. It again goes back to our passion and the vision that we have for ourselves, not the vision that others have for us. So if we are, operating in this self-sabotaging way, what is one thing that we can do to interrupt that cycle? Is there something specific that can
Absolutely happen? Yeah. So, and you want to know what? It's deceptively simple. But I want you to understand that simple doesn't always mean easy.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's deceptively simple. Start keeping promises to yourself.
Mm.
Now, this doesn't have to be, I'm going to start my business and that's the promise you're keeping to yourself. This is, I set my alarm for 7:00 in the morning and I get up because I made a promise to myself that I was going to get up at 7. I'm not going to hit the snooze button 7 times. This is, today I am not going to add sugar to any of my drinks. And then you do that. It's micro commitments to yourself because you have to retrain your brain to trust yourself. Because the problem is a lot of the self-sabotage comes from a lack of self-trust, a lack of confidence in ourself. Because look, there's nothing that I can't do. Now, that doesn't mean that I can do everything well. That means that I will figure out a way. I am confident enough in myself that if I choose to go do it, I will figure it out. It may not look pretty at first.
Right.
It may not be the way that it was beautifully laid on my business plan or my vision board, but I will trust, and I trust myself enough to know that I will get what I want because I'm confident that I'm capable of doing so. I have the capacity and capability to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that sounds simple. And it's those small intentional steps that we take to build us up to the bigger.
Yeah. Well, and think about this for a second. Let's say that you had a friend who's like, you know what? Let's get together. Right. Or you tell your friend, hey, we're going to have a party. It's at 6:00 at my house. Friend shows up at 7. Right. Yeah. One time is fine. But the next time you're like, hey, we're all getting together. A bunch of us are getting together. We're going to be there at 5:30. Right. Your friend shows up at 6. How many times are you going to trust that the friend is going to be there on time? Then you start making compromises for your friend. You're going to tell them, oh, we're going to be there at 5:30. Everybody else shows up at 6, about the time that the friend normally gets there. Yeah. Right? We make compromises for that. We do this to ourselves. So if we can lose trust of other people over repeated behaviors, guess what we're doing to ourselves every time we tell ourselves that we're going to do something or that we've made a promise to ourselves, even micro ones. We think, oh, it's not a big deal for me to sit down and instead of writing the email that I know I need to write, I'm going to sit down and doom scroll on Facebook. Yeah. So little micro commitments.
Yeah. Yeah. And where does procrastination, I think, fall in? Because it sounds like what you're talking about falls in with procrastination and taking action. Does that fall into there?
I would say procrastination falls into potentially one of 3 buckets, right? It's either a way to showcase that something in you is afraid of what you're going to get if you continue down that road. Now, that doesn't mean that it's a legitimate fear. And I mean, I'm going to be careful about some of the words that I use, but that just means, it's afraid maybe of us being successful. So it's going to say, you know what, let's procrastinate. We don't really need to do that right now. There's plenty of time for me to create X, Y, and Z, right? I'll take this time. So that's a way that procrastination shows up. Procrastination also can fall into the bucket of, I don't trust myself. So it can be that self-trust. It's, oh man, it's going to be so hard for me to write that email. It might be an uncomfortable conversation that I have to have, whether it's with an employee or a coworker or a boss or your family or partner, right? Like whatever that is, like, oh man, I'm not looking forward to this uncomfortable conversation. So I'm going to procrastinate instead of having it. And that's actually a confidence thing. Usually it does fall into other buckets for a lot of obvious reasons, depending on what's going on.
Yeah.
And then the other way that procrastination can potentially show up is a sign that you are just exhausted and overworked and overwhelmed. And your body gives you the signal that it's like, okay, I've had enough. Slow the heck down. So if it's a habit of procrastination, it is probably in one of the first 2 buckets. Okay. If if all of us, like if procrastination isn't your normal MO and all of a sudden you're like, why am I procrastinating? Maybe you should go, you know what? I might need a nap.
Just a little mental break, a little break. Yeah. Okay. And then, so mindset shift and clarity. How would you say either of those fall into actually the work that you do? For one, you're a transformational coach. How do you teach your clients how to make that mindset shift and how to bring clarity into their work?
So there's a lot of ways. I mean, like the foundation of what I do is mindset work, right? And each client is unique, and they're all the same all at the same time. So rather than kind of get, too deep into, let's talk about all the different ways to shift your mindset. Let's talk about one of the ones that's the most common, that is incomplete advice, and I'm going to complete it for everybody. How about that?
Good thing.
The industry standard of, look, if you want to change your mindset, you start with affirmations, right? Like, how many people have been told, let's just write an affirmation about it and say it, 3 times in the morning, 3 times at lunch, and 3 times at night, and you'll get what you want.
Put it on your steering wheel. All of the things.
Right. And look, there's a right way and a wrong way to write affirmations. The right way is stated in the positive, as though you already have it, right? So let's take the example of, I am a happy person, right? That's how you would write an affirmation. That's how the, that's how the industry is like, oh, this is going to fix your problem, right? Oh, you just need to be more happy, write an affirmation. And they're not incorrect, but there's a piece that's missing, because a lot of times there's a huge jump between where I am now and the end goal of where my affirmation says I am. And a lot of times we don't believe it, right? I am good with money and am am abundant with wealth. Well, if you've got 6 cents in your account, you don't believe it. Can it happen that if you repeat over and over and over again the affirmation, that you will eventually get it and you will eventually change your mindset? Yes, it's been proven. However, let's interim that step. Like, if it's not working and you don't believe it, like if you sit there and you're reading your affirmations, you're like, I am a happy person. I am a happy person. Like, that's not getting you anywhere.
Right.
However, one simple word change, and now we have a complete affirmation. Because remember, they're fluid and they're designed to grow with you. I choose to be a happy person. Nobody in the world will disagree with the fact that they have a choice to be.
That's right. That's a good way to approach that.
So now you can wake up one day and go, I choose to be happy, and then you're going to go like, I am going to choose to be happy. Are you going to be successful if you're a naturally down person? Not every day. But that's okay, because it's at least a step that you can believe. I believe that I can choose to be happy. And that's, again, it's a simple one, but think about all the affirmations that you're used to having, that I had 5 pages of affirmations at one point in time, single line affirmations. And I'm like, that, and a lot of times we have way too many.
Yeah.
I can to know those.
I can recall working with my first coach and write down 25 affirmations. I mean, I won't see those 25 affirmations every single day unless I'm sitting in the house and they're on every wall. So it didn't make.
Yeah. Start with 5.
5.
Start with 3. Like if the affirmations, if you've never done affirmations, start with 3. One about your health, one about your wealth, and one about your career. Okay. Start there. Start small. Let's not go, here's 25. I need you to say them 17 times a day. And we're going to be militant about this because that's the only way you're going to get what you want. What? That's living up to somebody else's expectations. Start small, grow into it, and add affirmations as you need.
Okay. That's good. Good information. If anyone is out here and wants to ask Bobbie a question, feel free to do so in the chat, and she will answer as she see them come up. Bobbie, if someone were wanting to connect with you, kind of explain the work that you do, the people who you work with, and how someone can get in touch with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the as someone who has overcome a lot of challenges in life, from being a Marine in transit, going from the very regulated to the, an unregulated world, from as someone who's been married, has been divorced, has entered back into the dating world, has faced bankruptcy and gone through it and lived to tell about it and grown from there. I help people that are stuck in life and feel like there's a mountain they can't climb over. They're running into those invisible barriers, and it doesn't matter whether it's a big one or a small one. But I've gone through it, and a lot of it was I had to fix myself. And so it started with, oh, I just need this, I just need that. So if you're stuck in self-help hell, I remember, I'm a self-help junkie. If you're stuck there, but you're still doing the same things over and over and over again, those are the people that I love to help the most.
Okay.
Right. So if the 21 days here in 2026 have felt exactly like 2025 and 2024 and 2023, let's fix that. So those are the type of people that I help, the ones that are tired of doing the same thing on repeat over and over again, and it's not getting them what they want.
Right. Those invisible barriers that really, they do hold us back. We don't even think about it sometimes. We don't even realize that we have these barriers because we're so busy trying to do all the things and to live up to all the expectations. And when we're not operating in alignment and in our true purpose, we really are stagnating ourselves. I know for me, I feel that way. If I self-awareness first, and when I'm aware of what's going on around me, then it does kind of help me overcome some of those barriers. So today we are talking with Bobbie Maloy, and she is talking about invisible barriers and how we can overcome those barriers in order to be more productive in our lives. And so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll give some information on how you can contact Bobbie. You're not just building a career, you're building a reputation and that of your business. At People Power Consultancy, we coach ambitious professionals to refine their image and shape a personal brand that opens doors. Because the way you show up is your message. If you're tired of blending in, second-guessing your presence, or feeling unseen, this is your moment to stand out with purpose and polish. Visit peoplepowerconsultancy.com to start your transformation. Your next level has a look. Let's define it. Welcome back. This is the Image Connection Show, and today I am sitting with Bobbie Maloy. Bobbie is a transformational coach, and she focuses on invisible barriers.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and so we've been talking about the different types of invisible barriers. She's given some insight on how we can overcome some of those, and we're going to talk a bit more about confidence and how we can make some shifts to increase our confidence, practical shifts to increase our confidence. And Bobbie, I said when we returned, I would allow you to give your information on how one can contact you if they desire to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So you can, from my website, you can go to alignedselfmethod.com, or I'm most active on TikTok, which is just at alignedselfmethod is my handle. So feel free to come and hang out and let's chat.
Yeah. You've given us some great insight on invisible barriers and invisible rules. Rules. Can you kind of expound upon that a little bit? What are invisible rules, and how do we overcome them? I mean, how do we identify them?
Yeah. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, who wrote a wonderful book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And I think that is a phenomenal title. That's really what it is. It's breaking the habit of what's made you who you are right now today, because you are the person that 10 years ago you wanted to be, whether it was conscious or unconscious. That's who you are right now. And in order to get you to where you want to go, we have to break the habit of being who you are now. Because if you were supposed to be that person, you would already be that person. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't get there. It means we have to design that. So the hidden barriers it's the unconscious programming that runs in the background that we've developed over time, that we run into. We know whether that's, these, whether it's a physical barrier where you're just like, if I wanted to open up a bookkeeping business, I don't. But if I wanted to, I have a lot of barriers to that. Like I would need to go get training and skills and education, and that's a barrier. It's not an invisible barrier, but a lot of times we're just like, oh, I totally want to do this, but we don't even know what we don't know
Right.
about how to do something. They can show up as invisible barriers because a lot of times it sounds like, well, I just don't know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The internet will tell you how to do anything. Right. I have a friend of mine that bought me a t-shirt that says, "Don't worry, I've got this. I watched a YouTube video." And I'm like, nothing could be further from the truth these days. The how is actually not a problem. So if somebody's like, well, how do I do this? How do I become this? It's out there. The information is available.
Mm-hmm.
So if we say, I don't know how, that's a hidden blocker. And a lot of times it's something else that's actually stopping, because how is almost readily available at our fingertips.
Yes.
Now, are there some things that we don't have readily available at our fingertips? Absolutely. Guess what? I have no idea how to colonize Mars.
Well,
and yes, we've got somebody who's trying, but it's not like I can go to the internet and go, how do I colonize Mars? And I'm going to get a list of steps.
Right.
So, if your dreams and goals and ambitions are something that nobody has ever done, and you've legitimately tried to look for that, by all means, the how might be something you have to figure out.
Yeah.
But for the majority of us, we want things that other people have done, or have done at least very closely. So the how isn't our problem, but that's an invisible barrier, and that's how it shows up. Okay. If we have a dream and a goal to change something about us, maybe you're overweight, and we need to lose a couple of pounds. And that's not because the world is telling you that you need to lose a couple of pounds. That's because you're like, I want to lose a couple of pounds. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I want, not, oh, the doctor says I have to, oh, my mom says, like, oh, what's going on? Like, that's all well and good. But when you want to do something, the how is out there. There's like 40 gazillion ways that you can lose that weight. But if your patterns continue to leave candy by your bedside, there's a hidden barrier there that's popping up.
Yeah. What you say, you talk about confidence, and what you say that ties into the confidence that we feel, our abilities to be able to accomplish the goal that we've set for ourselves. Of course, we have to have confidence in order to accomplish any goal, whether small or large. We have to believe that we can do it. So when you talk about confidence, or your thoughts around confidence, is it instant? Because for me, in my experience, and what we've been told, confidence it's a journey as well. It's not something that can happen overnight. There is fleeting confidence. Like for me, I'm an image consultant, so I can dress someone. One of the services will be just to get them some nice outfits and put them on, make sure that their hair and makeup and everything is as it should be, and they can experience that instant confidence. But I go deeper too. I know that that's not from my understanding, that's not permanent. It's fleeting. What do you say about instant confidence? And is there a possibility of that being long lasting?
So there's so much to unpack, and I love this. So confidence isn't a feeling, right? So when people are like, I just want to feel confident, it's not a feeling, not specifically. Confidence is action. Right? Confidence is taking action. It's the way that you carry yourself. Right? Now, I can actually demonstrate for you how to tap into confidence instantaneously. Now, it is fleeting confidence. It's a boost of confidence to get you started so that you take action and then continue to have the confidence because you're taking the action.
Yeah.
And I can show you how, if you do it, you can, I'll show you how to do this, and then I'll show you how to anchor it in such a way that you can tap into it at any point in time. Would that be useful?
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure the listeners could use that. So yes.
Okay. So fantastic. So what I need is for you to think of 2 to 3 times in your life where you were confident. And before somebody's like, I've never felt confident in my life. If you want to feel confident, because that's something you're like, I want to feel confident, it means at some point in time in your life, you felt confident and you want to get that feeling back.
Yes.
So some examples for people that are like, I've never been confident in my life. If you were sure that you knew your name when you went to go introduce yourself to somebody, that's a moment of confidence. If you looked at yourself in the mirror and went, I'm cute today, that's a moment of confidence. We can tap into that and expand on it as we go through this. So I want you to think of 3 very clear, if you can, moments where you felt confident. If you can't do 3, we'll start with 1, right? 1 moment of a time where you felt confident, right? Do you have one?
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's simple, but yeah. Yes.
Simple is great. And because, depending on how much more time we have, when we're done with the exercise, I'll show you how you can how you can take things that aren't even yours and add them to this. Okay. So it's fantastic. This is a beautiful exercise. So now that we have that one example, what I want you to do is I want you to take a moment, right? So you're going to loosen yourself up a little bit. And I want you to, yeah, I know, look. I want you to sit in your chair and I want you to embody that moment. So go back to that moment in time. What did you see? What did you hear? And what did you feel? How were you sitting? Okay. Now let me explain to you. Confidence does not look like this. It doesn't look like this. Right. When I'm dealing with kids, it doesn't look like this. Right. Confidence sits up, right? Confidence, shoulders tend to be back. Like if you're looking and you're like, I'm cute, you're not going, oh my God, I'm so cute.
Yeah.
Right? What is that moment? Embody that. And I want you to get into that, like embody what it was in that moment that you felt, that you saw, the things that you were hearing people say, whether it was something that you were saying to yourself, right? So you're gonna sit up. You're going to be confident because you're going to embody that. Like we are entering into that. Now that you have that moment, you're going to take your middle finger and your ring finger on any hand, and you're going to press them on your thumb. Right. So you're going to remember, that combination. Okay.
Gotcha.
Right. We're going to, like, whoa. So you're going to hold on to that for a little bit while you're embodying this moment, and you're going to let it go and you're going to shake it off. Okay. And now I want you to tell me, what did you have for dinner last night?
Oh, I had spaghetti.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. The sole purpose of that is just to remove you from this moment of feeling confident. And now I want you to trigger it again. And what happens to your body? So go ahead. So does your body naturally want to pull you into that position? Does it naturally start to bring you towards that feeling?
Oh, it did. I think it kind of
it did in the moment, and then you fought it. This is how it stopped working, right? Because you do this, and you're like, whoa. Right? And the first couple of times that you do that, you're just like, oh, wait a minute. That didn't feel good, because it's literally changing your state from where you are, where we were talking about dinner last night, into this feeling of confidence. Yeah. Okay. So now that you know that, do it again. Trigger it again, and this time don't fight it.
Trigger the confident moment.
Yeah. Do this. And does it pull you into it, and let your body go where it's going to go?
I can feel the good vibes. I can. The good sensation.
Congratulations. You know how to instantly tap into confidence now. Now, here's the fun part. You can stack this. This is called an anchor. Okay. I've now anchored confidence. This is a temporary anchor unless you continue to fire it over and over and over and over and over again. Right. So in doing so, we can stack this. So you've got one moment, one fleeting moment that you're like, ooh, I felt that. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in an hour, hit it again, see what happens. It's either going to work or it's not, and that's okay. If it doesn't work again, that's fine. It was a fleeting moment of confidence that gave you that cool vibes that says, I'm good and I'm going to move forward, right? I'm going to take that step.
Yeah. The
Okay.
thing you need to move forward. That's what you just need a little reminder, right?
One of my favorite lines from a movie is that is it is encapsulated how I changed my life, even though I didn't know it at the time. And it's from We Bought a Zoo, and Matt Damon is the character. He's the dad of this family.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the movie, right? But it's the dad of the family. I guess they'd lost their mother, but he was explaining how they bought a zoo, or they were buying a zoo. Like again, it's been a hot minute. And he goes, all you need is 20 seconds of insane bravery.
Wow.
And courage.
Yeah.
And you'll get what you want. And it's not that every time you do those 20 seconds that you're going to get the outcome that you want, but you're going to be significantly further along because you took those 20 seconds of courage and you acted on them.
Yeah, took action. Yeah.
Okay. Now I've now given you an anchor that you can trigger, and it will work for a period of time unless you stop using it. Then it won't work, but you can do this again. Okay. And if you would like, one of the free resources that I have available for people is the steps on how to create this confidence anchor.
Yeah.
Is that something that I can share with your audience?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So it's alignselfmethod.com/confidence. Okay. So alignselfmethod.com/confidence, and it will give you this resource that explains exactly how to set this trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And confidence is one of those things that I think a lot of people need to be able to do to tap into. And so even this opt-in, it's geared towards confidence, but pick anything that you want that's a resource that you have available in your body. Mm-hmm. You can do that with this exercise. It's one of my most loved exercises that I love to teach, I love to share, and people tell me all the time, they're like, oh my gosh, that is amazing. They use it all the time.
Yeah, I like it and appreciate you sharing it. And I think that anyone that's listening, if you do this exercise, you will feel, even with me just doing it again, that same sensation.
So here's a fun one. Ready? Put yourself into kind of like physically move your body.
I don't do that too often.
I know we don't do this too often, right? Because we're not those type of women. We're driven, right? So you're here. Fire that anchor and see what your body wants to do. Does it like pull you out of that?
I think my mind already pulled, because this is not a natural confidence. It's not a natural position for me. So I don't want to be there anyway.
Right. So you're like that, but it's subtle moments that happen. And this is from one time. Now you can stack this. I was telling you that. So this is where I'm like, if you have your 3 moments, pick another moment, do that exercise again, fire the exact same anchor.
Yeah.
And now you build onto that confidence.
That's good.
The more that you have, the more confidence moments you have, great. Fire them all. And then at one point in time, you're going to trigger that bad boy, because you've got to go in and you have to talk to that boss of yours. And you're going to be like, we need to talk, because this isn't going to continue happening. And watch what happens, because you have that you can tap into that confidence for that 20 seconds of courage to then take the action for confidence to really follow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To get the things that you want and deserve in this life. Now, let's say you're like, oh my God, Bobbie, I only have one moment, and it's just because I can remember my name. Okay, I'm down. Let's go.
Okay.
Can you think of a moment of a friend who you think was confident? You believe they were confident in that moment. You can think of that, and you can try and you can emulate that in your movements. Do you have a movie that you saw a moment where the character was confident, you can use that. Do you have a storybook or, one of your reading characters that had moments of confidence? You can use that. You can stack those because the brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. So all you need to do is embody it for a moment to anchor it, to then be able to tap into it. So if you don't have many moments of confidence on your own, it's okay.
It is okay, but I would say that if we think about it,
if you really think about
it, I would hope that we've had more than one moment of confidence, and if not, then do that. This works. This works. Yeah, it works.
It's interesting because it's the dichotomy of defining something. We know what something is because we know what it's not. But by definition, if we know what it's not, we have to know what it is. So if you're like, I don't know what it's like to feel confident. Okay, well, maybe more of your evidence lately has shown that you have not confident moments. But I can guarantee you almost everybody has woken up this morning, I'm imagining most people woke up this morning and went, you know what? I'm pretty damn confident. My name's Bobbie Maloy today. Now, I guess, if everybody else woke up going, I'm pretty confident. My name is Bobbie Maloy. We're going to have problems.
Well,
But, like you wake up and you're like, I know who I am today, even if all I know is my name.
Yeah.
Take those moments and build on it. Yeah, the more you trigger the anchor, the longer it lasts, the more permanent it becomes. Okay, so the first couple of times that you do it, you're going to have to fire it like 3, 4, 5, 20 times a day. Have fun. Be sitting there going, I got to write an email. Whoo, watch yourself get yourself more and more into confidence. Be like, okay, we're writing this email confidently.
Yeah.
And then you'll get to the point, like I have triggered this anchor so many times. I don't even need to think about it. I do this, my body will naturally start. Like it pulls me into sitting up because I've used this like over a decade at this point.
Yeah.
So when I have access to instant confidence, I mean it. And you can too. And this is how.
It's a very straightforward, easy, simple exercise, which takes practice, but you're going to get that good feeling when you do this. So you're going to want to, I keep doing it. You're going to want to continue to do it. So I don't know if that's a mindset trick, but this works. It really does work, people. So
we all want to tap into confidence, even if it means I want to confidently sit here and drink my tea. I don't care.
Yeah.
Tap into confidence. We do not, especially as women, right? We do not believe in ourselves enough.
That's true. Yeah.
And I beg you to trigger that anchor 100 times a day.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if it's this simple, because we all need confidence. It's the main ingredient. If I can say that.
I need confidence to cook something right. I need confidence to dress myself in the morning.
That's right.
Sometimes I need confidence to hop on a podcast and be like, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what anchors everything that we do. If we don't feel confident, then we're not going to be productive. We're going to, those self-sabotaging thoughts are going to appear, and we're going to tell ourselves that we can't, when in all actuality we can, right?
Absolutely.
This has been a great conversation, very insightful, great tools, and the resource to your book or to your guide. You want to mention that again?
Yes, absolutely. So if you go to alignedselfmethod.com/confidence, and it will give you the step-by-step on how to set this anchor. It's geared specifically for confidence, but you can use it for anything that you like. I know I've got it in here somewhere. I just have to find that moment, and then you can tap into it. Don't use the same one, by the way. So if you're going to tap into different resources, unless you need a combined set of resources, pick something different. Pick something you're not going to just randomly hit. Okay. So like, oh, the tip of my toe. Like, don't do that, because if you stub your toe, you're gonna be laughing rather than like doing the things that you need to do, right? So don't pick something that would easily be hit, which is why like weird finger combinations are good. Sometimes touching your elbow, right, is a good one. What you need to remember though is the consistent pressure to be the same. Right? Because if you do this and you touch it too hard, you're gonna be like, whoa, what's going on there? If you touch it too lightly, you're like, what? This isn't working. So remember, it's consistency. The same thing will trigger that anchor over and over and over again.
Wonderful. Well, thanks, Bobbie, for spending your time with us this morning, giving us all of these tips. I knew it was going to be a good conversation, but just learning these small practical tips, practices that I can use, the audience can use, and take away, the idea of the Image Connection show is to provide, information and tools that the audience can take and use immediately. And I think that you've done just that. We have gone underneath the surface or beneath the surface of, image and presence and things, because it all starts within self-awareness and tapping into what works for us, and confidence, of course, is going to be at the forefront of that. So again, thank you for sharing your expertise and your wit, your personality. You gave me laughs, and I appreciate that. And so for those who are listening, again, you can contact Bobbie at her alignedselfmethod.com. Her Facebook, IG, and TikTok is at alignedselfmethod.com. My name is Jenny Dewberry. I am the host of the show. I'm an international image consultant and personal brand strategist. You can get in contact with me at peoplepowerconsultancy.com. The Image Connection Show on YouTube. Please go like, share, and follow. I believe that's how it goes. And you can find me on IG as Jenny Dewberry. You can find me LinkedIn, Jenny Dewberry. And I also have a resource for any female that's listening. If you want this resource, please go to this. Thank you. Go to the website and download my Why Image Matters, Why You Should Care guide to kind of help you get through the day. You have that confidence, or you want that confidence. This is a tool that will help you to get there. Thanks again for tuning in and watching the show. And I cannot wait to see you all next week at 10 a.m. Eastern time here on the Image Connection show. You have a word for them, Bobbie, before we?
Yes. Action. Take action. Don't listen to this and go, that's nice, I'll do it later.
All right.
Try it. Do it now. Take action. Change your life.
Change your life. Step into your confidence and step into your power. Until next time. Thanks for tuning in to the Image Connection show. We truly appreciate you being here. We hope you'll join us again. And don't keep it to yourself. Invite a friend to tune in too. If you're ready for more insightful tips, tools, and strategies to help you enhance your image, brand, and help you on your entrepreneurial journey, this is where you want to be. Until next time, keep showing up with purpose, presence, and power. I'll see you next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Take care.